My boyfriend has his older female friend staying at his house, and it's weird. And don't tell me to not be suspicious, because I already am.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
This story came March 7th, 2019. Why does 2019 feel like a decade ago? Crazy. I've been dating a guy, I'll call him Josh, for about 6 months. He's so great and we're so compatible, and I've definitely fallen in love with him even though we haven't said the word love yet. I feel like it's just now getting serious. He told me about his friend, I'll call her Sarah, early on when we started dating. He says that she is his best friend, that they've been friends since they were 9 years old. They were next door neighbors growing up and they lived together for about a year after college, but she has been working overseas for several years and he hasn't seen her in a long time, even though they talk somewhat regularly. I assumed she was like a sister, but now I'm questioning that. Suddenly, Sarah decides to come for a visit and asks to stay with him for a week, and he says yes, without talking to me first. Then when she gets here, she says that she's moving back to the States, but isn't sure where yet, but says probably not in our area. What bothers me is that he's really different when she's around. Like, his humor is different, he is more standoffish with me, he talks all about her and all these great things that she has done. They don't really flirt, but it is obvious that they have a lot of history, inside jokes, etc. I stayed over with them the first night that she was there, and he wasn't interested in having at all. He said that he was too tired. Yesterday, I was coming over in the afternoon and I waited for an hour on his front step until he showed up with Sarah. They had gone on a walk and out to lunch and had forgotten about me coming over. Apparently, he left his phone at home. I was pissed off, so I left and he came to my house later, but only because apparently she told him to. I don't think he's the type to cheat, but it seems obvious that he's emotionally attached to her, and I think it's really weird that she just shows up after years and they're like super tight. And I feel like I am on the outs. I know they have a ton of history together, like stories and memories and everything, but I can't shake the sense that there's something more going on. She is supposedly leaving in 5 days, but who knows where. Am I being a crazy jealous girlfriend? Should I say something or just wait it out? Let me know your thoughts, how you would feel about the situation, and what your guesses are before we get to the updates. But we're going to check out what Reddit is saying, because I love the opinion of Reddit. Sometimes. Sometimes they're a little cuckoo bonkers. The first comment, you're not being crazy, but you are being jealous. You said he has known her since he was 9. Did they ever date? Of course they will have inside jokes and he'll feel awkward around her because he's probably wondering what she thinks of you. OOP responded, I don't know if they ever dated. I didn't think so until she came, and now I'm wondering, but I'm kind of afraid to ask. Well, you have to have open communication in any successful relationship, so you should probably just ask. I think that would change a lot of things if they had dated and been intimate in the past. Like, you got an ex at your house at that point. Next comment. Doesn't sound like there's anything romantic going on. He just should have handled this in a better fashion. He doesn't have to okay a friend staying with him for a week, but he should have figured out times during that period where he would see or include you. Him forgetting you were coming over was definitely a dickish thing to do. Honestly, kudos to his friend for pushing him to go over to yours to make up for it. She probably felt so uncomfortable that he did that. I think you should hit him up and tell him you want him to enjoy his time with his friend, but he needs to respect both yours and her time if he's trying to have you guys meet up and hang out. Not tell stories you can't relate to the whole time or forget that you're coming. OOP responded and said he didn't. You're joking. I will talk extra loud and we will continue. If you hear somebody's shower or plumbing happening here, my apologies. My building has a lot of plumbing issues that we just try to ignore on this channel. OOP responded and said he did invite me over for dinner the first night that she was there, but we already had plans to go out that night, so basically he changed our date to include her. We have an update and it came the very next day. So I have an update faster than I thought I would, but it is not great. I took some advice and I didn't text or call Josh yesterday at all. Who was giving that advice? Not the comments I read. Then he called and asked me to come over and talk last night after work. At first, I thought for sure he was going to break up with me, but that's not what happened. Although what did happen might be worse. Sarah wasn't there when I got there. She apparently went out somewhere for the night. Basically, Josh told me the truth about Sarah. They are best friends and they talk and text very regularly, probably more than I had even realized. But yes, they also used to be involved. He said she's more than an ex, which was really confusing until he explained what he meant. Apparently, after college, he and Sarah lived together and then were together as a couple for a while. Okay, so she's very much an ex-girlfriend then, not just your best friend. Apparently, she got pregnant accidentally pretty early on in their relationship and the baby passed away. I don't know how, if it was a miscarriage or what, but I think she was pretty far along when the baby passed. I guess it was very traumatic for both of them and they only lasted about 6 months together after that. She took a job overseas and they ended up breaking up sometime after she left. He said that the two of them never really talked about what happened until this week, and he's realizing he never grieved the loss of their baby and he needs time with her this week to process it, so hopefully he can move on. Wow. Okay, so obviously something very traumatic happened in their relationship in the past. They haven't even talked about, so he probably wasn't running to his new partner to tell her, but that definitely changes the situation and your new girlfriend is going to feel uncomfortable by this. For sure. For sure. That's an ex and they went through something so traumatic together and technically they were having a baby together. That is more than just a friend. Oh, this is sad and complicated. What a mess. I don't know what to do with this information. Not only is she not just a friend, she's the mother of his only child. I asked why he didn't tell me this before, and he said he was going to tell me about losing the baby eventually if we decided to take things to the next level, but that hasn't happened yet. But he never really told me about Sarah because she just disappeared and he hasn't seen her more than a few times briefly since it all happened, which was almost 8 years ago. So he basically thought that she was a non-issue until she showed up suddenly a few days ago. So now I'm even more confused. He said he was really sorry and asked for the last few days with Sarah before she leaves to try to get some sort of closure on the whole thing. It sounds like he wants to move on. It also seems like she does as well because she's the one who has been telling him to talk to me. I have so many questions, but I didn't ask them last night because he seemed so broken up about everything. I've never seen him like that before. I ended up staying over last night again after we talked. Yes, we did become intimate this time. And this morning we both got up really early and went to work. I'm not sure what to do now. Should I back off or tell him how I feel and ask that he not cut me out for the next few days while he's with her? I thought about taking the afternoon off and just going over and talking to Sarah, but would that be weird? I don't want to break up with him right now in case he's telling the truth, and after this, Sarah does go away and isn't an issue anymore. But my biggest worry is that even if they move on, he's not going to cut her out of his life. Now she has some sort of special place in his life that I'll never have. Not sure how to proceed. And then she edited this post and said, I sent a text I was advised to send saying how I feel. I got a response. Too tired to deal with it tonight. This is what the text messages said. Apparently the screenshots got deleted, but they did get put into text on Reddit before deleting. So, thank you. All right, so OOP had texted him saying, this really sucks. I'm really in love with you and I thought you were in love with me too. Now I'm just confused. I should be comforting you, not her. I should be at your place at night, not her. I should be helping you process this, not her. Because I am supposed to be the person you love, not her. Her boyfriend replied after 3 hours and he said, hey, sorry, I just saw this now. I put my phone down. I'm really sorry this is happening, especially now. It's bad timing for us, I know. I understand why you feel that way, and if Sarah was just my ex, I would totally agree with your feelings, but she has been my friend for 20 years. We were only together a year and a half out of the 20, and neither of us really ever closed that chapter of our lives. I understand how you're feeling. I know I have handled it badly. I feel really terrible about it. I feel like I can't fix everything all at once, but I want to talk to you about it more. Can we talk tomorrow and figure out a time when we can talk more? I understand if this is too much to deal with. It's a lot. I'm sorry. I don't know how to feel exactly, personally, but let me know your thoughts. We're going to see what Reddit is thinking. Here are some of the top comments. Someone said, I mean, I've never lost a baby, but why does he need multiple overnight stays to sort this out with his ex? They can't just talk for a few hours and then let it go? I agree with everyone saying that you should let this one go. He is clearly not in a good space right now. OOP responded and said, to be fair, he works a normal day job, and so far the only time he's been alone with her is for an evening the day before yesterday. But I get what you're saying. Next comment, in case he's telling the truth, if he was lying, it probably wouldn't be that complicated or tragic. At the very least, you should be allowed to meet Sarah and spend some time with her. If you believe she was telling him to talk to you, then I imagine she is also curious about you too. At least meet her before deciding anything. That's fair. I think they should meet. No? Oh, didn't they meet? They did, because she would have been there when they came home that day, when he forgot they had plans. They probably met. OOP responded saying, oh, I've met her. Unfortunately for me, she's pretty great. My original post was partially about the first night that she was there. He invited me over and we all had dinner and hung out. That is when I started getting the weird vibes that they were more emotionally attached than I originally thought they were. Turns out I was right. Right! I forgot they had that first night together. So she has hung around her. Next comment. Not only that, but is there anything verifying this miscarriage story other than your boyfriend and his ex? Maybe he's just really good at manipulating you and you don't even realize it. That would be a crazy thing to make up. But people are nuts. So OOP responded and said, well, when I asked questions about the baby, he went back to his office and brought back some old ultrasound photos he had. I think he said she was like 7 months pregnant when the baby passed. I realize this isn't the point, and I don't know why I'm being defensive of him right now, other than I've had a couple of drinks. Girl, get off Reddit. You out here drinking, thinking about your relationship. I don't know if Reddit is the safest place for you. The next comment said, the fact that he did not tell you this and would basically ignore you so that he could engage in this psychodrama with her for a week suggests that you should nope the F out of this relationship. That is the harsh Reddit that I know. OOP responded and said he did have me over the first night and come to my house the second. And we talked last night. If I back off, he will be with her the whole weekend though. Girl, are you just staying with him so that you are? She's staying with him, she said it, to kind of wait it out, to see what the situation is, where it goes, how it ends. She's kind of feeling it out before she makes like an ultimate decision. We do have a final update though, so let's get to it. But first, it's hydration station. You need your water. I do too. Part of life, apparently. Cheers. Whoa! I didn't mean to pour half the freaking bottle down my throat. Excuse me. That was not very ladylike. Not that I'm ever trying to be ladylike on here with you guys. Hi. So I don't have anything for Joss Cam that I want to say. Do you have anything for Lila Cam that you want to say to the people? To your biggest fans? Anything to say? She's so confused. Girl, I'm just as confused as you are. We are just a train wreck together. Oh. Oh. All right, so the final update came 4 days later. So after we exchanged the text that I was advised to send, Josh and I didn't talk much the rest of the day. He called me when he got off work and we talked a little bit, and he told me that he would see me the next day, being Saturday. I guess Josh and Sarah were planning on going on a hike on Saturday, but then he got called into work. Oh, so I went over there and I took Sarah on a hike, and it was actually really good. Alrighty. We talked a lot about Josh and she told me about what he was like growing up. I told her that he had told me about the baby and had talked to me about it. I think maybe she was kind of upset about that at first. She didn't really seem like she wanted to talk to me about it at all. Yeah, because you're a complete stranger for her. So she's like, I don't really want to talk about this really intimate, traumatic time of my life with you. But basically, we both sort of agreed that it was good for him to finally talk about it and deal with it. Then at the end of the hike, she told me that she thought I was really great for Josh and she was happy that he had me, which was probably BS considering the rest of what happened. Oh! And here I am getting all excited of like, oh, it really was just a nice hike. Girl chat, honesty, loyalty, totally truthful. Here we go. I hung out with both of them a lot the rest of Saturday. There was some added drama that night because Sarah hurt her foot and we had to take her to the ER. But anyways, Sunday morning I dropped by Josh's house early before I went to teach a class. Partly because I needed to pick up something I had there and partly because I kind of wanted to see how they would react. When I walked into the kitchen, I saw Josh standing there hugging Sarah. I think she was crying or something. Anyway, I was like, what the hell is going on? And Josh got really annoyed. He asked why I kept coming over, and I got really angry with him for the first time and yelled at him and asked why he didn't want me to. He didn't yell, but he seemed really mad that I was there again, which only confirmed my suspicions. So anyway, we started arguing. Josh went upstairs to grab my bag, and while he did, I saw a big box/folder thing on the table, and I opened it. I should have mentioned he is a designer artist for his job, but he also does a lot of his own drawing and illustration, sort of graphic novel style. It was all pictures he had drawn of Sarah, or some character who looked exactly like her. He must have been working on it a long time because there were a lot, and it looks like it was supposed to be a book or something. He obviously never showed it to me before. I kind of freaked out. I was so angry and hurt that apparently she's been his effing muse or whatever this whole time. I was furious. When he came downstairs again, I was so angry, I picked up the folder and I threw it. Apparently there was more than paper in there, something glass was in there, and it shattered and was super loud. Not my greatest moment. I know. Part of me feels dumb about it now, and part of me wishes I would have just ripped them all up. But anyway, I was yelling and I was upset, and Josh got really quiet. I could tell that he was upset and angry, but he just kept trying to calm me down. Sarah came back in and I guess saw what happened and asked if she could talk to me. She basically told me that she was really sorry. She said Josh did not cheat on me with her. I have no idea if that's true, but she said that she had no reason to lie, and she knows it was a really bad week, but she was leaving tomorrow and I never had to see her again after that if I didn't want to. She basically took full responsibility for what had happened and said that she was hoping after this week Josh could heal some things and finally move on. I didn't mention the drawings, even though they were everywhere now, and she obviously saw and knew about them. I was just so rattled and upset I didn't know what to do. I mean, I'm an effing mess standing there crying and talking to the girl that I'm pretty sure my boyfriend is in love with, and I'm crying about him. At this point, I pretty much know this was the end of the relationship, probably, but for some reason I couldn't end it with him right then and there. Call me crazy, but I just couldn't give him the satisfaction of that. I figured I would talk to him later that day or the next day and probably end it, so I just took my things and I left. Long story short, it didn't matter because Josh came over later that afternoon and broke up with me anyways. You guys were right. He basically told me this week he realized he's not in any place to be in a relationship with me and he has a lot of things to sort out, and that it's not fair for me to have to wait for him. I asked if he had been sleeping with her and he said no. I asked if he loved her though, and he said yes. I asked if they were getting back together and he said he didn't know, but that hadn't been discussed and it wasn't the only reason that he was breaking up with me. Probably all lies, but I have no idea and it doesn't matter anyway. I feel stupid and angry. I can't stop thinking about them together this whole week and probably now. I know I shouldn't, but she was supposed to leave today and I really want to drive by to see if she actually did. Oh my God. If this was in real time, I would make you pick me up and take me there with you because I want to see too. It sucks so much and I'm devastated and I want to just crawl into a hole and forget the whole thing, but I know that I can't. Sorry this ending sucks so much, but thank you to everyone who commented. And let's check out the final comments from Reddit. Someone commented and said, he told you he needed time to work through what happened with her after he told you about the baby. He was 100% honest and asked you for space. Instead, you inserted yourself into a situation in which you didn't belong. You went over unannounced to catch them, and all you caught them doing was exactly what he told you would be happening. Also, he had 7.5 years to post her and pre-you to draw those photos. Throwing them was uncalled for. Clearly, this relationship is over, but next time, try to listen and respect your partner's wishes. Don't let jealousy get the best of you. Okay, do we agree? Do we feel that way? Interesting. That's like the opposite of what I thought the comments were going to be. But we have another one, so let's see what someone else is thinking. Next comment. She might have been crying because she didn't want to be approached by you about the baby situation randomly while on a hike. Just a thought. That's a very sensitive situation that's not easy to let someone you barely know in on. I don't know if Josh told you that in confidence or not, but that probably was something I would have refrained from mentioning. It sounds like you two were on different pages entirely. You both could have handled a delicate situation much better, but it is what it is. 6 months isn't enough time for some people when it comes to sharing things like that. I waited much longer to tell my significant other of a similar situation because I wasn't comfortable yet. I don't think he should have tried to cut you out the last few days that Sarah was there, but I certainly don't think that warrants throwing his work either. Just try to heal and learn from it and things will get better. Good luck, OP. Interesting. I'm sure this entire situation could have been handled better, but I'm curious to know what you guys are thinking. So let me know your thoughts. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.